Howdy guys, my name is Papa Conley, and welcome back to Ace Attorney. Give me a moment. Why is there we go. So we are back. Last time, Howdy guys, my name is Papa Conley, and welcome back to... I did not know the sound was up on my phone. Yes, I do open my stream just so I can see the chat. And my stream is definitely behind. By there's quite a bit of lag. But you know what? Not much I can really do about it, now can I? So we're just gonna go do the trial. You know? October 18th, 10 a.m., District Courtroom number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show that court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed a fellow actor, Jack Hammer, in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. Would you like to move on to some testimony? Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio, see? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works there at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there was only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer. The defendant, Will Powers. And a young woman, the production assistant. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead later to that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was canceled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Wait, just make sure. What all do we have for evidence? Cool, that's all. Should I list that whole thing again? No, I can remember it for the most part. I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. That question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call this security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name? My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Well, that's just to start. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie. Just call it damn here, son. I'm big fun. He didn't believe it, but there's this boy, Captain Pichesco. He called me Oldbag while I cried. Objection. I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objective sustained. I wish you didn't have the same voice as me. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 o'clock. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been doing a run-through since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyways, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 o'clock. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading to the studio. You saw the defendant then, Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I'm just gonna... Let me get this straight, old bagger, or Miss Old Bag. You've been saying that since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about this man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Old Bag. Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course, didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean that Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't bored yesterday. No one in this court was accusing you of that, Mr. Witness. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that this person in the photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I supposed to know everyone would be so nosy? You should all be ashamed. All of you. Anyways, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth's speech with... She's good. Let's hear about your proof, then. I never say anything. I don't mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg. See? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. There's anything I don't mean, mind you. Whippersnapper? I haven't even said anything yet. I'll have you know, I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow. The up and up. You say always pointing fingers at that way, and they want to cry. Mr. Wright, please, for all our stakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. that morning. Okay. Who is present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers. He's the Steel Samurai. Then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate. And me. And what exactly were you doing? Observing. Just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and stuff. So she didn't see the run-through then. Saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall? Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt. Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, she was cleaning up the backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. He broke one of the props. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. Samurai spear, the murder weapon. Luckily, I was there with duct tape to fix it. It strikes me as a significant detail. Better write this down in the court record. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room dressed up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyways, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot. Okay. Think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me, which is... where is the Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we could find it. We're looking, though. Anyways, that's not important. This witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure, Your Honor? Object. Double down. Always double down. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the real the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else not caught on the camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go in the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, then it would have been the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. How do you know that? Didn't I just explain? I gave notice to the young detective. And then, after some rubbish about being a secret pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts. The only person I saw go in the studio before then was Will Powers. Absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Suspicious looking, right. No one else went there. Wait a second, can't... Does it include the fact that there's... No, we're not including that in there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1 o'clock? Well, everyone was in the employee area before then. I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention... Are you sure? I'm going in the studio with a fast witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy. Edgy boy. Old windbag sure has balls. Or, well, you know what I mean. Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. For that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? Okay, so... Wait a minute. What about before you got to the guard station? Wait, it's photo 2. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sir, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground. Right, anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all the security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back, the photos are printed in the words, October 15th, 2 p.m., photo number 2. Even I know what that means. It was taken on 2 p.m. at October 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that, too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says, photo number 2. Photo number 2. The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Order! Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I wanted to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not only 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there's only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access. The security lady herself. Eh? You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means only 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help. Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper, too. Whippersnapper. Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? Ah, that's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess, someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai? Or, well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. I see. Your testimony, please. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos, record the security computer, and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see? Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first time I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it. Right, anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Photos aren't suspicious looking, you see? How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part. For the most part? This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I don't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Well, think of it, I remember throwing out one photo that day. Well, who in the heck was that photo you erased? Huh? A fanboy. A fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys. Real freaks, if you ask me. They get their information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second. Did you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in, were your words. Well, you must know there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The gate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain? I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids, so on the photo that you erased. It was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order, order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day? One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg, and the other was a boy who looked to be about 2nd or 3rd grade. Oh yes, well, we see his type there every day. You can't stop him. Can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it'd be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield a samurai spear. Impossible, I think. It's quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. It makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court Lobby, Defendant Lobby number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio. I did go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff. I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So where does this leave me? Doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick, what are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could have conceivably done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not an optimist at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thought on this matter? Prosecution's thoughts are simple. Okay, nothing has changed. Sorry, I just had a moment for that. The person who went to the studio was a boy, roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence. But there's still no one else that could have committed the crime. Go on. I called the verdict of guilty for Mr. Will Powers. Very well. Your thoughts? Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who have committed the crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear in mind, however. Be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. Well, that's kind of what we're going to do, and you can't exactly stop us. So, we're going to accuse the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Okay. Who's this other person that Mr. Powers could have committed the murder? The grade school. No, the security lady. The security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. Which means whoever was in the suit knew about the morning's injury. Because they've been watching the action scene run through. There's only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady, Oldbag. That's a yike for me, dog. You really gotta suck, huh? Try just not having this problem. Maybe just don't. What whippersnapper? Order, order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Then dipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in this costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Let's look deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right there. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. This is the part where Edgeworth pounces. Edgeworth is so done with this. Edgeworth is so done with this woman that he's not even bothering. He's just reached a point where it's like, you know what? Yeah, it's her. That she did it. It's not our problem anymore. Let's see, he's done. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What is this supposed to mean? She's annoyed Edgeworth to the point. Oh, so this is all you think I did it, huh? Is that it? Sketchy boy, don't just sit there, do something. Well, it's my move. Maybe it's my chance to take this whole show away. Press further. Don't stop pressing. We don't stop, never stop. The very same reason makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case. Can be used to cast down on Miss Oldbag. Actions that day. Definitely did not have issue speaking English for a mild second. Nope, did not happen. Didn't happen. I refuse to admit it happened. But why would I do something to poor old Hammer? You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Nobody's got a motive. Nobody. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. I like how we literally just accuse the innocent just to stall for time. No hard feelings, I hope. I don't know, definitely at least a couple hard feelings, you know? A little to just balance it out. You know what I'm saying? Wait just a minute. What about the other person that went to the studio? The one whose photo I erased? That's a good question. What about him? He's only a grade student though, as you said, 2nd or 3rd grade, wasn't it? I don't know, I mean, could be a very strong 2nd or 3rd grader. I mean, you never know. Could be very devious and mischievous and all that jazz. Yet you never truly know, you know what I'm saying? Could have easily done it. We just never suspected him. Nah, probably not. When I was age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Well, good job to you, I guess. I guess you're better than him. I don't know what to tell you. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your elders day, whippersnapper? No, you're just kind of, you know, a bit annoying. I have proof. The fact that the child might not be able to, you know, carry the spear. Maybe that's the proof. That could be good proof. Think about it. Proof? Indeed. Then what's this? Let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder. The key card? The scene of the murder, as we all know, was in Studio 1. However, you need a card key to get to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this idea? The windbag's speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. The court is adjourned. Wait a second. I'm not going to sit down while you run your mouth. Just say you're wrong tree. I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the press. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about. Not to talk about? By who? It wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk. Well, testify. Mr. Seal. Global Studios want me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio on the day of the murder. They say they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been to the studio that day. Yes, but if you're going to accuse me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court till now? Haven't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Global Studios want me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio on that day of that murder. Okay, who were these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director... We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2. Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The pathway where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... yeah, that's all I really need. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day of the question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about the other people will have been just told off. I understand, Your Honor. This ends the day's proceeding in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. This is all. The court is adjourned. Alright, cool. I will be back. Give me a moment. Alright, I'm back. I was right to ask you to defend me. It's really nothing, Grin. Or should I say, Sniff. We'll be going down to the studio to do some more investigating. We'll have to find out more about this director and producer. I'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Feel sorry for her. Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studio. Right, we'll be back soon. Visit you soon. Thanks, guys. Sniff. I think I might just end off the stream here. I know it hasn't even been an hour, but I'm just kind of done with the stream today. Kind of tired. So I think I might just end it off here. I'll do the usual amount of time tomorrow of like try to get like at least a bit more than a 2-hour one. But for now, I think we'll just end it off here, personally. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Is it not gonna stop? Nope. Still going. I don't